The end of Sultan Süleyman's justice, the night when the lion drowned his own cub. August heat has swallowed Istanbul. Even the marble sweats. The Bosphorus steams. Inside Topkapı Palace, 3 separate fires are about to ignite at once. Midnight. The doors of the Imperial Council stand wide open. A single candle burns. Sultan Süleyman sits on the throne, yet he looks crushed beneath it. In his hand trembles a scrap of paper, Prince Mustafa's Tura, and beneath it the signatures of 40,000 Janissaries. The seal has only just been broken. He tears the paper slowly, lets the pieces flutter like dead moths. Before they touch the floor, he whispers, "I have conquered empires. Tonight, I must conquer my own heart." Let us go back 12 hours. Manisa Palace. Prince Mustafa, taller than his father, more handsome, the man the soldiers secretly call the second conqueror, stands before his mother, Mahidevran Sultan. Mahidevran is still beautiful, but exile has hollowed her cheeks and bent her shoulders. "My son," she says, "your father is ill. The army awaits you. One step and the throne is yours." Mustafa looks out the window. Thousands of tents, torches, Janissaries chanting in rhythm. "Mustafa, Mustafa." "I will never raise my sword against my father while he lives," he answers. "But my soldiers are already raising theirs." Istanbul, the same hour. Hürrem's jewel chamber. Door locked. Only 3 people inside. Hürrem Sultan, her daughter Mihrima, and her son-in-law, Grand Vizier Rustem Pasha. Mihrima. All 7 Janissary commanders have taken the gold. They march on Zigetvar at dawn. Rustem grins. "I found Ibrahim's old seal. The forged letters are ready." Hürrem's smile is thin and cold as a dagger. Not dawn, tonight. Her web has already been spun, layer upon invisible layer. An old seal of Pargalı Ibrahim has been recovered. Letters forged in Mustafa's name, promising the Safavid Shah gold and alliance. A Greek convert spy has been planted and conveniently captured in Mustafa's camp, screaming, "The prince sent me to Iran!" Mahidevran's handwriting has been perfectly imitated in a letter that reads, "Place my son on the throne. Poison his father if you must." 100 purses of gold have reached the Aga of the Janissaries. The barracks now whisper that Mustafa will double every soldier's pay. The court physician, Musa Çelebi, has been bribed to tell the Sultan he has only 6 months to live. Mustafa will not wait. Topkapı, Süleyman alone. On the wall still hangs the portrait of Pargalı Ibrahim. He speaks to it as though the dead man can hear. "You betrayed me too, didn't you, my brother? I gave you Hungary, Egypt, everything. And you wrote secret letters to Shah Tahmasp. I can still see the night I had you strangled at supper. If I must taste that bitterness again, let it be from my own blood." Night deepens. The door opens without a sound. Hürrem enters. She wears a crimson velvet nightgown held by a single silken cord. Her hair is loose, her throat bare. She sinks to her knees, kisses his hands. Süleyman, rise. Tonight I want a woman, not a slave. She stands, steps back, loosens the cord. The velvet slips from one shoulder, not all the way, just enough for moonlight to graze her skin. Then take me as your equal, she whispers. One last time before you murder your son. He freezes. Then he pins her against the wall, lips on her throat. His eyes remain open the entire time, and in them burns murder. Hürrem breathes into his ear. Spare Mustafa, and they will kill you at sunrise. Sleep with me tonight and wake without me, and I too will be dead by morning. His breath catches. The victory is hers. 6 October 1553. Konya Ereğlisi. The Sultan's campaign tent. Before dawn. Mustafa has been summoned. He arrives in nothing but shirt and shalvar. He steps inside. Father? From behind the curtain emerge 7 deaf-mute executioners, silk bowstrings in hand. Mustafa reaches for his sword. From outside comes Süleyman's broken voice. Do not draw your blade, my son. This is not an order. It is a father's plea. Mustafa understands. He falls to his knees. The noose slips over his neck. His last words, recorded by history. I would have kissed my father's hand, but his hands are stained now. The string is pulled. His eyes bulge. His feet drum the carpet. His shirt tears. The amulet his father once gave him falls to the ground with a dull clink. Outside the tent, Süleyman sits with his head in his hands. A single tear falls into the dust. And then, Bursa. When the news reaches Mahidevran, she ages 10 years in a single heartbeat. She screams, tears out her hair, collapses. That same night, she hangs herself in her chamber. Her body is not even allowed to be brought to Istanbul. Manisa. Mustafa's 14-year-old son Mehmet is strangled a few days later on his grandfather's orders. The bloodline is severed at the root. The Janissaries. Riot erupts in the barracks. Kanuni killed his own son. He is no longer one of us. Pay revolts begin within months and will plague the empire for decades. Mihrimah Sultan embraces her mother, eyes dry. Inside, she thinks, we saved the throne, but we lost our father. Prince Selim, the future Selim the Sot, clings to his father, trembling. That day, he takes his first drink and never stops. Prince Bayezid lives in terror. Years later, he will flee to Iran, convinced the same fate awaits him, and it will, on his father's signed order. The common people whisper in the streets, the lion devoured his own cub. Secret mourning songs are composed and sung in the dark. Süleyman spends his final 3 years almost silent. Only on his deathbed during the Zigetvar campaign does he murmur his son's name again and again. Mustafa, forgive me. Hürrem stands on the highest tower of Topkapı. In her hand, a crimson silk handkerchief. Far below, Mustafa's funeral cortege passes, the coffin closed. She releases the handkerchief. It flutters like a drop of blood, carried by the wind until it touches the Bosphorus and vanishes. She whispers to the empty air, I won the throne, but I buried the only man who ever truly loved me, and the greatest hope the Ottoman Empire ever had with my own hands. The crimson silk disappears beneath the waves as though the sun will never rise again.